G'day guys, Shufflemo here. So today I want to talk a little bit about Elite Dangerous. I've really started getting into this game, and there's a couple of things at the start that are incredibly difficult. It's got a very steep learning curve. This is for beta 1.03. At the moment we seem to be getting an update pretty much every day, so all of this is subject to change, of course. First of all, as you see me taking off, this is done manually, but you can buy, in cities that have got high-tech for sale, you can buy, I don't know what they're called, docking assistant or something like that. They cost about 4,500 credits, something along those lines, so I haven't bought one, I just can't be bothered spending my credits on it. Now I'm going to fast forward some parts of this video because, as you can see, there's hypercruise in between, and that's pretty boring to watch because it takes ages. Now there's hypercruise, and the other one is I can't remember what the other one was called. Supercruise and hyperspace, they're the two. Hyperspace is when you're traveling really far distances. That more or less is automatic. Super cruise is if you're traveling within, oh, don't quote me on this, within the solar system, I'm not quite sure. A lot of times you'll overshoot planets at the start or destinations you're going for. It just seems to take ages to sort of get around. Now the quickest way, this is just a quick video sort of on how to make money quickly. It's not the easy way, but it's definitely quick. If you're a half decent pilot, this is definitely one of the quickest ways I've found so far. I've actually found in different YouTube videos, maybe I'll link it in the description, where I got the idea from. It's basically just choosing a faction in Erin 2, you fly there, then you choose a faction to align yourself with, and then you just kill fighter after fighter. You get 350 credits per killed fighter. Now there's a couple of things with it. You don't get the money straight away or the credits straight away. You will have to fly back to your space dock, actually dock in, then go into contacts, and then in there you see the credits. If you get killed before you make it back, you lose all your credits. Now if you get killed, don't worry, it's not too bad. If you're in your first jet, it doesn't matter. Sorry, in your first spacecraft, it doesn't matter, because you can just get a free one at your space station again. We'll just ask you, do you want a free one, or do you want the one that you previously had with your old equipment? Now if you haven't changed any of the equipment on your first one, you're just flown in stock standard, don't say I want the last setup and spent 1,600, because it's exactly the same model that you're flying right at the start of the game. So don't bother, just get the free one, it's got the same stuff on it already. Let's see what else is there. Getting to the weapons. Lasers, I'm not going to go too deep into it because at the start you only got the normal lasers, beam lasers. Now you can buy gimbaled lasers. They are sort of tracking, so it'd be easier to shoot people with them, but they do less damage, have more heat output, plus they cost a lot. So if you get used to the beam lasers, you can just continuously shoot down people pretty much, and even if you die, it doesn't matter, you can just get the free ship again, just continue. Like this ship that I'm flying right now is a stock standard ship. I haven't changed anything on it. It's well enough equipped so you can actually do really well with it. I recommend for anyone to use a joystick. It is incredibly hard with mouse and keyboard. I tried it at the start and didn't get very far at all. So I would recommend a joystick. Personally, I'm using the Satec X52. It's a little bit pricey. I'd recommend, if you don't want to go that high, just get a Logitech 3D Pro, I think it's called. It goes on eBay US for probably about $30 US, so that's fairly affordable, and it's definitely a good entry-level joystick to sort of get into the action. I would definitely use a lot of strafe. You'll see me in combat soon, and I'll definitely use a lot of strafe function. The only problem that I had is most of the time I don't get killed by the fighters actually shooting me. They just seem to kamikaze and like pretty much ram you, and if they ram you, it's pretty much an instant kill, unless they're hitting you when they're going really slow, and normally it'd be a pretty high-paced collision, so you'll die instantly. So whenever I see someone flying directly towards me, I start strafing left or right. the joystick with the twist function comes in really handy, because if you're actually strafing to the left and then twist the joystick to the right, you can actually stay on target pretty well and get a couple of shots in while you're actually strafing away from them. So you will actually get hits in, and at the same time you won't be rammed, because I died a lot at the start from being rammed, even going slow. Now if you notice at the bottom right, that's sort of, sorry, just around the middle circle, there's the speed indicator, and there's a couple of blue lines you can sort of see at the bottom of the speed indicator. Now those blue lines, that's optimum speed for turning. So if it's within that blue range, you could turn really nice and fast. So in combat, I don't think I hardly ever go over 100 if I'm directly sort of in a dogfight. If I'm trying to catch up to someone, of course, fair enough, I'll go a little bit faster, but yeah. Now you have to get fairly close to people to actually be able to shoot them with a pulse laser. I think, sorry, beam laser. You have to, I think it's 2.5 Ks to 3 Ks or something like that. Anything further and you won't do any damage. Also, as far as I'm aware, the closer you are to someone, the more damage you do with the lasers. So it's recommended to get fairly close, but you know, keep a little bit of distance so you can shoot and maneuver well. If you get too close and they turn, they just go out of sight a lot. Now I'll do a little bit of commentary just on the combat here. As you can see, it's fairly easy to sort of track them. Now the shield's offline, and you can see sort of the ship's health and shields and bottom left.
Under attack. Target destroyed.
Personally, I would recommend to stay away from that big cruiser in the middle. It's very easy to sort of lose track of it, and while you're strafing around, to accidentally hit it, and again, it's instant death if you hit it and you're too fast. So trying to pick on targets that are further out. Also, I'd like to pick on targets where there's not too many. Sometimes you get areas where there's 3 or 4 enemies and no allies flying around. Like as you can see on the radar, all the green dots are your friends once you choose a faction, or the red dots are the enemies. I like to just fly around, usually help people, like help some of the green ones out, because that also helps to keep fire view, because they'll be concentrating on you at the same time on your friends as well. One thing I haven't mentioned at the start is this is in solo play, so there's no other human opponents in here. I think in the actual online one with other players, you'll probably get killed a lot. There's a lot of people just flying around getting to know the game, and you'll probably get killed a lot by human opponents, and they're obviously a lot smarter than these AI fighters. So most of the time they'll just go in one direction. I always recommend to sort of to keep track of them. Turn the top of your ship in the direction that they're turning. That way, you know, because you got the big open canopy at the top, so you can actually kind of track where they're going. Another good way to sort of follow where they're going is just follow their exhaust fumes. You can see when I get a little bit closer, you can see here the exhaust fumes. So if you lose track or sight of someone, just follow those exhaust fumes. Just go around, and sooner or later they come back into sight.
Target shields offline.
Here again on the right, you can see now I'm in the perfect turning zone, like the little blue line on the right. I'm sort of, my speed is just matched within that blue, within those blue squares. So I've got optimal turning speed. See here, if they're a little bit further away, now I've boosted up to 230 because I've actually used a afterburner, whatever they're called, just to get a little bit closer. You can also see when you're in range and when you're not. On the right you can see pulse lasers, and if you've got someone targeted, and it will actually say out of range. You can also see your heat there, obviously.
Target shields offline.
Yeah, I've overheated, so that's why I've got all my... oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that. You can distribute energy in between shields, engines, and weapons. In combat, I will always have my weapons
Target
full
destroyed.
because that way your weapons will not overheat as quickly. I don't think they'll do more damage, but don't quote me on that. I just think they don't overheat as quickly, so you can fire more often before they actually overheat. Shields, really not that necessary, at least with these fighters here, because if you choose the Aeronin faction here in this specific scenario, the Federation ships are really weak, so you don't have to worry too much. And even if you got your shields full, if someone rams you, you're still dead. So I usually got, you know, 1 or 2 in engine and then full weapons. You can also have engines and shields both on one. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't make a huge difference. But as you can see here, I'm racking up the points fairly quickly.
Target destroyed.
One thing you have to get used to is keep an eye on how much health they got left, because a lot of times they will actually already be dead, but it will still show up as in they will still fly around, but their health will say 0. So it's just a waste of time to keep shooting at them. They're not going to blow up any quicker. If they're dead, they're dead. They just float for a couple of seconds. I think in this clip altogether it was about 20 minutes. I'm going to cut little bits and pieces out. So I think it was 23 minutes all up. And I think I make 3,500 credits. So that's not a bad deal if you think about it. Like, there's risks involved, but for 20-minute quick flight it's not all that bad. And once you get really good at combat, I'm still not that great either. You will probably kill them even quicker. If you manage to get gimbaled lasers that lock on, obviously here I would be hitting that guy the whole time instead of just missing constantly, so gimbal lasers will also make it a lot quicker to kill him. You'll overheat quicker, but since pretty much every shot hits, it shouldn't be a problem. The only downside with gimbal lasers is in PvP, because gimbal lasers will not lock onto ships that are running in silent mode. Now, I'm not going to get into all the details of this game, there's so much to it. Just a quick rundown on silent mode is it basically disables your shields. If you enable it, it disables your shields, but it won't show you on the radar. It will show you as a confirmed target, but it won't show exactly where you are. You're kind of like jitter all over the map. You can sometimes see on the radar when I get too far away from people, the dots on the radar jitter. That's sort of the same when you put silent running on. The further you're away, the less of a target you are. And like I said, gimbal lasers will not lock onto anyone that's running in silent mode. So if you only use gimbal lasers and you run into someone that is running on silent mode, you're in big trouble, because he can pretty much just pick you off.
Target destroyed.
Now, there's also other weapons where you get ammunition for. I don't know enough to exactly comment on it, but I think they take the hull down quick. The lasers take the shields down quick, and the projectile weapons or whatever they are, they take the hull down really quick. They also don't generate heat, so you don't have to put any extra points into weapons, any extra energy, because they don't produce heat, they don't need any energy. So that can come in handy, because that means you can put more into engine and more into system. But at the same time, you have to buy ammunition, so especially for this mission here, I'd recommend just to use the beams, because they're free. You can shoot as much as you like, and you don't have to buy any ammo at the moment. You will have to buy fuel, so I'd keep an eye on that, but if you're only traveling within this, again, I'm not sure if this is the solar system, but if you're only traveling within that system, you won't be using too much, and dogfighting really doesn't take all that much fuel. Yeah, I'm out of range. Now, I just got into range and got a shot in, but it's sort of I don't think it's exactly when it says 3Ks. I think if it's just switch from 4 to 3Ks, I'm pretty sure he's still out of range. I don't know the exact range when you can start hitting someone, but it's something around the 3K mark.
Target shields offline.
See here, I'm side strafing. As soon as I see someone turning, trying to look at me, I'll side strafe. The little particles that kind of fly towards you as you're flying are actually really helpful, because it lets you know which direction you're flying. You can turn off flight assist, but it's it's hectic. It works well. If you're in a dogfight and someone is on your tail, you turn off flight assist. It helps you move really rapidly, and you can, for example, turn your ship around while still traveling in the direction that you are facing before, which is brilliant because you can say, while you're still traveling forwards, turn 90 degrees in any direction and then boost straight ahead. So basically, you're turning while you're still flying away from him, then you can turn while you're turning 90 degrees, then all of a sudden you're boosting off in a completely different direction. You just take flight assist off, go full acceleration, and you boost into a completely different direction, which means he will have to catch up. I'd highly recommend also get used to the roll function. The whole twist when you just turn the ship left and right, it doesn't really help that much. To completely spin around, I've seen this in another video, to completely spin around, like do a 360, just by turning left or right, takes, oh, I don't remember how long it was, like 40 seconds. If you just roll right by whatever it is, 90 degrees, and then you just pull up basically to do a 160 takes, sorry, 360, do a 360 takes maybe about, I don't know, 8-10 seconds, so it's way quicker. So the roll function is definitely recommended instead of just the move left and turn left and right option. The benefits of a joystick is mainly the strafing. That's why I'm recommending it. First of all, the twist function and the strafing. Also, it's kind of nice to have a throttle and actually being able to, move your throttle with your hand sort of backwards and forwards. And I usually, on the hand that I control the throttle with, I also have the controls for my thrusters. See, here I had enough, so I decided, okay, I'm out of here. I'm going back to my home base to actually cash in those credits, because if I die now, I'll lose all my credits. Now, occasionally you will get intercepted. You will be flying towards your base again, and you will get stopped by pirates occasionally. Usually it's only one, especially at start or on certain systems.
3, 2, 1.
Or sometimes you get stopped by, I don't know, what is called the space police, I don't know, and you get scanned. They scan if you've got any illegal goods on board or anything like that. So again, this is really helpful to just, if you're actually just flying around killing ships in combat zones, designated combat zones, then you can get credits without having any downside. Like sometimes if you bring cargo from one planet to another, it might be legal in one system, but it's illegal in another system, so that can get you into trouble. Also, cargo is never a guaranteed win, because occasionally the market fluctuates and you might actually pick up a full load, get there, and then they won't accept it, or the price is lower, and you still have to buy the fuel in the end. So if you travel long distances, you will be paying a little bit in fuel. Now on the left you can sort of see a speed indicator. The little blue lines on the left at the bottom, the speed is sort of, once you're within those blue lines, you can safely jump out of Super Cruise. There is an emergency jump out of Super Cruise, which is hit the Super Cruise button twice, and that way you'll be able to jump out of Super Cruise. I'm not sure if you get any damage. I don't think you do, but you might. So I always just trying to break down within those blue lines, so then you can just press it once and you will jump out of Super Cruise. I'm still a little confused how the acceleration works in Super Cruise. It sometimes seems to accelerate you really slowly, and then sometimes a little bit faster. Also, once you get too close to planets, I think there's some kind of gravitational pull, which means the acceleration will actually go down because your ship will be in the gravitational pull, so it will slow it down. Just otherwise, it would rip your ship to pieces. So it doesn't let that happen. It automatically just slows you down. That just happened to me, I'm pretty sure, right here, because my throttle is full and he's not accelerating. So I'm pretty sure I'm in the gravitational pull off the planet. As you approach the station, when you're 7 k's away from the station, you have to request docking. You do that by, I think you go into contacts in the left panel, if I remember right. Click on the city, and then it will just say request docking or set as target or something like that, and you just click request docking. If you don't request docking, I'm not sure if you get shot at, or you might be able to make it in, but you will get a bounty. So basically then you have to pay off a fine because you know, you didn't abide by the rules. Also, when you ask for docking permission, you only get a, I think it is 10-minute timer to actually dock, to actually land on your designated port. As I said at the start of the video, you can buy some kind of docking assistance. It does cost a little bit, but if you feel more comfortable with it, do that. If you do buy it, like I said, it's about 4,500, 4,700, something around that. If you do get killed, if your ship gets killed in combat, then if you click the free one again, of course it won't have the docking assist. You can buy the other one though, the one for we say the old setup for whatever 1,600 or whatever it was. One downside is, as far as I know, the more stuff you buy for your ship, the more expensive it will be to buy your previous setup back. I don't know by exactly how much it jumps, but it will be more expensive. I personally like the Sidewinder just at the start. I've got enough saved up now after about 3 trips, maybe about 2 hours worth of work. I think I've saved up about 28,000 credits, so I've got more than enough to buy the Eagle now and buy a couple of weapons for him. I'm probably going to play this with the Sidewinder a little bit more just because it's safe. If you die, it doesn't matter, you just click buy the free one again, go back out, kill someone, come back. That way you don't have to pay for the repairs. Once you get the Eagle, I don't think there is a free option anymore. I don't think you can say, yeah, buy a free Eagle. I think you straight away just have to pay to get your ship back. You don't have to pay the 16,000 again, but I don't know how much it is since I haven't bought it yet. So I'm guessing it's a percentage of the total that you spent on the Eagle and how much you spend on the weapons on it and all that. Especially for the docking here. With a joystick, it's fairly easy. You can see me be getting fairly comfortable with docking here. Just you've got a lot more control. And since the space station is actually rotating while you're outside, it makes it pretty hard with mouse and keyboard to try and align up and adjust for that rotation as well. Okay, in a second you'll see just where I click to get into contacts to actually claim my bounty, and you'll see how much I'm getting for it. But I'm just gonna leave it here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry it was a little bit longer video, but I tried to fit it as much in as possible because I was really struggling at the start. It probably took me 2 hours of just dying constantly to figure out what I'm doing, where I'm going, and I'm really hoping this basic info will help some of you. And you can definitely make a lot of quick credits at the start this way without having to worry too much about it. Here on the left you can see when it gets into the red you're going too fast, which means you're going to crash.
Successful. Engines disengaged.
You also have to put out your landing gear, don't forget about that, otherwise you'll crash as well. Okay, here you see the credits now, and you'll see contacts. Then you just have to click on the faction that you played for and click claim credits. And that's all. Okay, guys, I really hope this helped some of yous. I might make another one in the future. Have a good one, and catch us later.